Good evening and welcome to this Common Council meeting for the City of Beech Grove on this Monday, July 22nd, 2007. And at this time, I'd like to have the participants in this meeting introduce themselves, starting on my far left.
Joe Prindle, Council at Large.
Kathy Coates, Council at Large.
Ingle Harris III, District 4.
Brian Bosma, City Attorney.
Heather Brown, Deputy Clerk Treasurer.
Gene Humphrey, District 5.
Everyone would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time I'll ask our Deputy Clerk to read the minutes of our last meeting, please.
Beech Grove City Council minutes, June 4th, 2007. Council President Pro Tempore Ingle Harris called the meeting to order at 7 p.m. City Council members William Carpenter, Roy Edwards, Gene Humphrey, Ingle Harris, Mary Stewart, Joe Prindle, and Kathy Coates were present at the meeting. Also attending were Clerk Treasurer Mary Carpenter and Deputy City Attorney Tricia Lemminger. Mayor Joe Wright was absent. All joined in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. Minutes from the May 7th, 2007 City Council meeting were read. Mary Stewart made a motion to accept the minutes as read. Gene Humphrey seconded the motion, which was approved. Special presentations. Joel Comstock of the Beech Grove Police Department made a special presentation to Jamie Gibbons, manager of Motel 6, in appreciation for her help in training employees to recognize activities that need to be reported to the police. Under reports, Aaron Gilberti gave a report for the Redevelopment Commission. Tim Showalter gave a report from the Cable Department. Police Chief Rich Whitmer gave a report of the Public Safety Committee. Joe Prindle asked prayer for Vera Playthrough, the mayor's grandmother. Deputy Attorney Tricia Lemminger gave part of a 7-page legal opinion on issues that the public had been questioning. The entire report is on file in the Clerk Treasurer's office. The next regular council meeting will be July 2nd, 2007. Gene Humphrey made a motion to adjourn. Mary Stewart seconded the motion, which was approved by a voice vote. The meeting was adjourned at 7:30 p.m.
Councilors, you've heard the reading of the minutes of our last regularly scheduled meeting. I need a motion to approve them as read, please.
I move we approve the minutes as read.
Have a motion, have a second.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. The minutes are approved as read. This time we have a special presentation. I'll turn the floor over to Councilor Harris.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. At this time, the Citizens Police Academy would like to thank the Beech Grove Police Department for spending their time for 10 weeks to give the citizens of Beech Grove an insight to the police department. And during that 10 weeks, we had a young lady step forward and is going to be our spokesman for this evening, Kim Brinkley.
Thank you. Again, I'm honored to speak on behalf of my colleagues who participated in the first ever Beech Grove Citizens Police Academy. On April 19th, Chief Whitmer invited 17 citizens of the Beech Grove community to participate in the Beech Grove Citizens Police Academy. Chief Whitmer, with the assistance of Deputy Chief Kellen Malloy and Detective Captain Robert Mercury, took a concept of community policing and made it a reality. During the 9 weeks of classes, we were able to experience a side of Beech Grove that few realize exists. We saw the professionalism and dedication that each and every member of this department exudes every day. We saw the passion and commitment to our community. We saw the humbleness and humanness of individuals who are willing to put their lives on the line every day for us. We as citizens tend to assume we know everything that is going on in our small community. We assume that when there are problems, we have no resources. We assume that no one really cares. Chief Whitmer and his team showed us we were wrong. They were willing to show us their world. Each and every volunteer shared openly, and they listened. They listened to our concerns, our fears, and our ramblings. They never made us feel like outsiders. It was obvious that everyone involved with this academy was very proud of their department and their team. It is easy to become callous and disengaged in this battle against crime. It is easy to throw our hands up and say, it's not my problem. My colleagues and I were given the opportunity to see how this crime is affecting us. As the weeks passed, we all felt a sense of pride. More importantly, we felt a sense of ownership and responsibility. With that being said, the graduates of our academy would like to present this plaque to Chief Whitmer and his entire department as a tangible token of our appreciation for your dedication and service. Thank you. We are also in the process of starting up a neighborhood crime watch program and will be assisting the police department at the fireworks show tomorrow night. We look forward to building on this insight and foresight and building our partnership with the Beech Grove Police Department. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chief. Thank you. As I mentioned at our graduation, I couldn't have scripted a better group of individuals to come out for this first session of our Citizens Academy. I feel like I just kind of threw the thought out there, and it was taken up by some folks at our department, and I just tried to stay out of the way and let it run. But I have to recognize some individuals. First off, the Academy persons themselves, thank you for applying, thank you for being a part of the group. And as we mentioned the night of graduation, we see this as just a beginning of our relationship together, and we're looking forward to working together in the future. From our police department, I too have to thank our Deputy Chief, Kelly Malloy, Captain Bob Mercury, who was the hands-on guy week to week, making the classes happen, scheduled the events that we had. Detective Matt Hickey, Detective Joel Comstock, Mark Swartz, Darren McGuire, Jason Stachel, Danny Farnworth, Officer Mark Parker and his canine partner, Berno, Officer Chris Whitaker, Lieutenant Scott Ferrer, from our paralegal and our prosecutor's office in-house staff, Rob Reel and Stacy Walls, and some organizations to recognize also the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, who had us out 2 or 3 times? Three. That's right, one of them was in the car, wasn't it? That's a tough one. And the Marion County Coroner's Office, as well as the Marion County Jail, those were all venues that we took field trips to just to get a better picture of what we do. And again, I hope I didn't miss anybody, but we look forward to kind of regrouping in-house and seeing what went well, what we need to change to enhance, and we want to approach this event again. So again, on behalf of these officers in our police department, thank you very much. Thank you. We'll hang this proudly.
I just want to reiterate the enthusiasm and the awareness, the levels of awareness that raised to this group. The graduation was a very special time for me, and Kim, I want to thank you for taking the lead. This leadership is important in a group of any size, and this group is certainly huddled around their leader. And not only did they finish a course, they gave a proposal back, and I think it was very evident at that graduation what they intend to give back to the community for what the community has done for them, and that was very impressive to me. And I know you've already had your first meeting on setting up neighborhood crime watch associations, and I think that's just going to elevate our level of public safety with our citizen involvement exponentially. The dividends will be huge, and I just again want to thank this inaugural class of the Citizens Police Academy. And Chief, I'm sure there'll be more to come once they catch their breath and refine and improve, and I know you guys will be involved in future classes, so I just want to again say thanks for all the commitments you made there. This time we'll move on to petitions or comments by citizens.
Or none signing in.
With none signing in and no new business tonight, we will hear reports from committees, boards, and commissions. First, we'll hear from our Greenscape Commission. David? And then I'll ask Tim Showalter to be ready for the cable report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. We began our inspection of the plantings on Emerson Avenue, and like I've heard a lot of people say, was with some folks Saturday and even tonight, heard folks mention how beautiful Emerson Avenue really looks, and indeed it does. I tend to look at things through a little different set of eyes than a lot of people do. I was looking at the trees that aren't doing very well, the shrubs that aren't doing very well. I talked to the landscape architect on Saturday. We're going to get together and walk everything again. I want to assure everyone that the plants, according to the landscape architect and according to the specs that I had prior to any construction on Emerson Avenue, the plants are guaranteed for 1 year. Being put in when they were, we will, for most of the plants, go through a leafing out process again next spring before that 1 year expires. So we'll have this growing season and see how they, perform when they come out next spring again. The perennial flowers that are in there, I've been told that, and I'm not a flower person, but I've been told that they are spring blooming, summer blooming, and fall. So we're going to have a color there, for pretty much the entire growing season. Like I said, there were a few plants that are dying. Those will be replaced. There's one tree in the median at the south end of the project where Bell Fountain would cross. There's an overhead electric line right there. There's one tree that was planted directly under that needs to be removed, and we will have that tree relocated. Also, I want to thank Andrew Royer and the city employees for the work they've been doing in Sarah Bolton Park. There were several trees we looked at there that I had gone with Andrew and inspected, trees that needed some work, some that had dead wood in them. They were cut out. There were also a few trees that were needing to be removed, and they have been removed. Also, I don't know the exact number, but I do know that the employees did plant around 60 to 70 new trees and shrubs in Sarah Bolton Park this past month. So that's all I have right now. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question of a general nature. I've noticed a lot of trees, that some are established and some are new trees that because of this hot weather and that hot, dry wind we had on several occasions recently, have lost their leaves. So do you think, you think those might come back next spring? Or?
Yes. Basically, we've had a very funny growing season. We had a warm spring, and some of the plants, trees, shrubs, everything came out a little early. The spring blooming plants were fantastic this year because we did have some early warm weather. Unfortunately, right after that, or in the midst of some of those blooms, we had a freeze, a very, very hard freeze that took a lot of that stuff out, followed by some rain and then a very, very dry season. What you're seeing in the trees when the leaves fall like that in the summer like this, due to a dry season, that is one way the trees, particularly a tree, sheds its leaves like that in order to reduce the amount of nutrients that it needs.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Actually, the trees should be fine unless there's another stress problem. The dry weather that we had is not really a concern. Now if there's other situations that the tree's under a stress or, an insect problem or something like that, then, that just adds to the problem. But generally speaking, no, we're okay with them.
So is it a good idea to keep them watered anyway?
I'd pretty much let nature do it, especially on a younger tree.
Yeah.
We were discussing the irrigation system down here. I do know that a lot of the plants that are planted down there, especially in the median, have different types of water and sun needs. And, to just turn an irrigation system on because it gets dry is not really the thing to do on a lawn. It needs to be maintained, it needs to be watered, because those plants need as much or more oxygen at this point for the feeder roots to start growing than they really do water. So, obviously, yes, they need water. We couldn't just let them sit down there with no water at all, but we can't overwater them either.
I noticed those trees along Emerson Avenue, almost every one of them had a watering bag around it.
Yeah, there's water gators on the trees,
Yeah.
which are filled up, and they, just kind of, the water seeps out of it slowly.
Yeah, I read
and
the
it-
instructions, it said 6 to 10 hours, it seeps
Right.
20 gallons of water.
And it waters the root system. So
Yeah.
there's very, very little, evaporation
Right.
of the water. It's concentrated to the root system of the tree. That's the way they should be
Yeah.
watered.
Are those bags available to the general public?
Yes, you can buy them through horticultural and arboricultural sales.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Yep, thank you.
Any other questions for the Greenscape Commission? Dave, I just want to say thanks. Your talent and your contribution and volunteering your time has been a great help, I know, to oversee these projects and examine the planting plans for Emerson Avenue. I know you suggest some changes that were made, so I appreciate your help. And I think our community is really fortunate to have someone like yourself to
Well,
head
I'm
up
just
this
glad to be
commission.
able to, give a little something to the community. Actually, being a resident, I want all the residents to be proud of it. And again, the maintenance down the road is, my number one concern right now. So
Well,
we'll be following up on that.
I want to assure the public that your number one concern is our number one concern as it pertains to maintenance of that corridor. It's a very good investment for the community, and I appreciate the fact that you're giving us that maintenance input. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Tim Showalter, Cable Department.
For the month of June, we had 5 new messages posted, 6 hours of municipal meetings were videotaped and broadcast as well as put on the internet, 4 hours of school programming, and 1 community program. I would like to also add that starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have a new program called In the Know in the Grove. And it's produced and it's about municipal government. It's hosted by Butch Finema. And the first episode just talks to people on the street about what they would do if they had a chance to make some changes and what they like about Beech Grove. It's a half-hour program. I found it to be very interesting, and I hope everybody gets to watch that. It's also on the internet at beechgrove.com/BGTV. And I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for Tim? No? Thanks, Tim.
Okay, thank you.
This time, we'll hear from Chief Whitmer from the Public Safety Committee. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. The June meeting of the Public Safety Committee took place on June 19th at our police department. As usual, the monthly reports of police and fire activity were reviewed. Chief Buckley reviewed the latest list of zoning issues that are in progress in our city. There were 2 Beech Grove liquor licenses due for action actually this month today, as it so happens. One was actually renewed. There were, I believe, 3 citizen remonstrators there today. The second one is a license transfer, and that was continued. That involves transfer in a hotel in our city that is building a replacement. And I think I just want to track that and make sure what the intentions and how that's going to proceed and what kind of form that's going to take down on the south side of our city. We spent a great deal of our meeting time discussing the events for June 30th that we had 2 days ago, and our event tomorrow, July 3rd, just the related planning. We think that the events on the 30th went off pretty well. Tomorrow's events, we've had 2 meetings of everybody that's involved in that, and we're looking forward to that, but we wanted to bring the committee up to speed and get some input on our plans for both of those. We had several items that we didn't spend a lot of time on, but still had some discussion. One that we heard just a few minutes ago, planning for Neighborhood Watch in Beech Grove. And for the council to know, Neighborhood Watch is something that's been around for a long time. 20 years ago or so, we had a pretty active system here in Beech Grove, and it's just kind of fallen into disrepair, for lack of a better word. But I think that the community as a whole is ready for some involvement, some hands-on with taking over some of the things that go on in their neighborhood, and that they do have some say-so and some way to control that. And so we're looking forward to it. We had our first meeting last Wednesday, and had probably 15 to 20 citizens that are interested in some involvement in the Neighborhood Watch program, and I will keep this committee or this body advised of the progress. There was also some discussion on some concerns with the Fall Festival. I know we're still a little bit ahead of that, but it's still going to be here before we know it. And some advanced contact is going to be made with the amusement company prior to that, and have some discussions on some of the concerns that were raised. Finally, we did have one item before the committee on an automatic signal at Emerson and Maine. Just the timing of it, they felt it was a little short, and we agreed to wait until that project is totally complete, and then we can look at those things. But that really is the major items that we discussed at our meeting. Our next meeting is scheduled for July 19th at 8 at the police department. I'd be happy to answer any questions that council members may have.
Chief, I just got something to say to you. That, as a councilman, thank you for the Civilian Police Academy. In my job, you know, I work at the hospital. I got a lot of feedback from the policemen. I had a lot of interaction. It was a very positive attitude. They had a lot of good comments about civilians. And being a promoter and being with the fireworks, I remember years ago, it might be 2 policemen and the promoters club running the whole thing. It's so nice to have all this help, and I appreciate it. All the eyes and helpers and stuff, helping parking cars, it's great. And just want to thank everybody for participating.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for the Chief on the Public Safety Committee? Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor.
This time I will extend the report for the Redevelopment Commission. One of the most obvious projects is the Emerson Avenue project, and I want to thank, first of all those who came out and helped celebrate on Saturday the dedication of the Pocket Park. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Pocket Park, it's the area at Garstang and Emerson. Amtrak donated or gave the land 0.2 acres at that location and 0.2 acres at the northern end of their property for the towers and the park. The park has 2 very significant dedications that are going to be significant. One is to recognize and be a dedication and a constant reminder to us and everyone who travels that corridor about our public safety officials, that being police and fire, and then to memorialize those 3 police officers who gave their lives in the line of duty, who were all there represented there by their families for that dedication. The other significance of the Pocket Park, other than the fact that it's a very pedestrian-friendly place in our city, is the dedication to the active serving military and the veterans. All 5 branches of the military, the armed forces, are significant and recognized there with their emblems, their insignias that will be on some permanent structures that will be soon to be installed on that site, plus the park dedication itself. Up and down the median will be you see the light poles have been installed. The lights are still on their way, but you'll notice the banner arms on each of those light poles. There's 19 light poles, each with a dual banner opportunity, and we'll have seasonal decorations for that whole corridor. The first season is the summer season, where we celebrate America, we celebrate our nation's birthday, and we also celebrate our salute to the armed forces. So 10 of those 19 poles, 2 each for the 5 branches of the military, will have a Beech Grove salutes, that branch of the military, plus the 9 poles will have a Welcome to Beech Grove banner. Those banners will change out over the seasons, and looking forward to some ideas on the Christmas the fall and the Christmas season. So be thinking about that as well as the springtime season. The south portion of the Emerson Avenue corridor is from basically from Churchman south to Elmwood. That section is scheduled to be complete in September of this year, so we're looking forward to a completion of that portion of the project. This I can't say enough about this construction crew. Shell Lucaville has done a fabulous job. They've worked with the city, been very cooperative, been very helpful, and have gone way above and beyond the call of duty to help us with our dedications, our ceremonies, and just being very conscientious about our city and our needs, and they've just done a great job. I can't say enough about them. Digital City project, as most of you probably know, that project has been approved and is in the design stages as we speak. The vendor for that project is Federal Signal, who has brought two other vendors integration of hardware and software hardware and services to operate the network, and we're in the discussion stages of the final contracts there. The Greenway designs are very close to being complete. We're in the grant process for the Transportation Enhancement Grant to help construction costs for the Greenway project, which we hope to hear on that grant sometime this fall. Main Street, Mike DiNapoli is heading up the Main Street design project, and the planning is very close to a 3D design for the public to see. We expect that very soon. And then the other thing I want to just make special mention of is that this redevelopment commission is very interested and very concerned about investing in neighborhoods. And they've positioned their policy such that they can take redevelopment dollars and invest it in neighborhoods for streets, sidewalks, curbs, infrastructure to help revitalize certain neighborhoods. And if you live on an alley, you understand that our alleys need to be rehabilitated as well. And the Redevelopment Commission has taken on that project to help revitalize our entire community. So Beech Grove, the beauty of Beech Grove is it's small enough that our Redevelopment Commission can put all that under a redevelopment umbrella, and hopefully we can harvest the funds that we need through redevelopment dollars, grant dollars, and other sources of revenue to not only focus on the economic aspects of our community, but also the neighborhoods. It's so important that when businesses locate here, it's important that the employees want to locate here as well. So they understand that the direct connection between employees, quality of life, and employers to make sure as the CSX project is off the ground, as all these other corridors tend to take on a new redevelopment attitude, that the neighborhoods, our communities, a place their employees want to live. And that speaks directly to the neighborhoods as well as Digital City, as well as the Greenway, the walkable community concept. So all of these projects are neatly fit together to promote the entire balance of our whole economic life here in Beech Grove. So don't miss out on some of the very specific things that this Redevelopment Commission is focused on. It's a tightly and highly integrated redevelopment strategy for the entire community so that everyone sees specific benefits from those dollars. And that there's a number of other projects on the Redevelopment Commission's plate. Those are the ones that they're dealing with at this time. And that concludes our reports from committees, boards, and commissions. Under unfinished business, we have none. Under new business tonight, we have none as well, or miscellaneous. So at this time, I turn the floor over to councilors for any comments you might have.
Mayor, I've got something tonight. If you notice that Bill Carpenter and Mary Carpenter aren't here, they're at their daughter's side. They're expecting another grandchild. So I'd like to wish them well, and that's why they're not here tonight. Also, I'd like to put my 2 cents to the Redevelopment Commission. Our former city engineer sitting there, Mr. Masterson, because just what Terry Doak said at the opening of the day, he says what a difference a year makes. It is very gorgeous, and we're proud to be in Beech Grove. Thank you very much for all your hard work, and the Redevelopment Commission for all their hard work.
Great. Thank you. Any other comments?
I've got a couple things. First of all, you noticed this evening we didn't have any official business tonight, but that doesn't mean this council is not ready to work. In the next few months, as you know, we'll be starting the budget process, and so we'll be working quite a bit and have quite a bit on the agendas. So just want to let everybody know that. Also tonight, with the approval of the council, I'd like to put into the public record to have this meeting in memory of Vera Prather, the mayor's grandmother, and also a long-time resident, Mike Risch, passed away yesterday in a tragic accident. If the council will approve that, I'd like to have that part of the record.
Council consent?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Mike Risch, one of my schoolmates. Any other comments from councilors?
No.
If not, I too want to thank Councilor Harris for the dedication of this meeting to my grandmother who passed away, and was very much involved in the services during the last council meeting. So I appreciate the prayers and the thoughts of the community. I think the word that was most used at the funeral home and the funeral was she was an angel, and it's certainly a loss that we have faced, and I again want to thank the community for their prayers and thoughts at that time, and for this Beech Grove citizen who has faced a tragic death and that family as well. Without any other comments from councilors, we'll consider this meeting ready for adjournment. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move we adjourn.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thanks very much.